This conference will now be recorded.
All right, so we'll call the meeting to order, stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lord, as we gather this day to do the important business for the people of the village of Owego, grant us wisdom, compassion, and understanding. Amen.
All right, first item as usual, public comment. Alex?
With Laura here, I'd like to set this parking meeting that we never, didn't happen about a month or two ago. Parking traffic on North Avenue. We're on the subcommittee, if you recall.
A North Avenue meeting was called?
Well, I think it was initiated because there was a lot of comments about parking and lack of parking and what we were doing on North Avenue in particular. And then the mayor suggested that we have
Yeah, to me, it
a
was,
subcommittee.
so we have a parking committee, which was Rusty, Ron, and Laura. So Ron has left us, so we have Rusty and Laura now.
And I believe, David, you were volunteered or you
Were
volunteered?
you gonna add Dave, or did he want to
He
be added?
wants to be.
Why not?
Okay.
There you go.
I noticed that the chairman of the parking committee isn't here yet tonight.
Do we have a time we could set, that we set this week sometime on their schedules? Laura's pretty much, Laura and Rusty are both aware of the situation, but I wanted to present some thoughts to you.
Okay, let's do it.
Do you have a set of time so we can block it this week sometime?
Yeah,
Is it just
What's
about
good for you?
I'm
parking
good
on
every
North
day.
Ave?
Sorry?
I'm good every day.
Every day. How do I contact you then?
All right,
We'll get you his info.
I'll get you the information
Well,
before
do
you
you
leave.
want, do you want to do it tomorrow at the coffee shop, roasted?
Sure.
Okay, time?
I don't think I can come tomorrow. I'm going to be doing a number of things out of town. I'm not sure I can be there tomorrow. Can we do it Wednesday or Thursday? Something else.
Thursday.
How about you?
Thursday.
Sorry, I
Yeah,
just,
so I don't know if some,
Putting him on the spot. That's how you have to get it done, right?
yes. We all have everybody, each other's phone numbers.
Well,
I have
can
your
we-
phone number. We don't have to, we can do it right now, but we don't have to do it this second. We can just.
Right, right. Tentatively, should we just say Thursday at 10? Does that work for you?
like maybe 9,
9?
yeah. Thursday at 9,
Yes?
I could probably make,
All right. Perfect. The only other comment I have, if I could do it later, is updates on the art park.
So the art park money is been submitted to be moved to Marvin Park after finding contamination there and a bunch of other stuff. Like Marvin Park's budget, or bids coming in double the budget, so,
Is there a 6-month delay before you get a decision on it?
yeah, at least, because the
Right.
state has to, okay,
So can we kind of propose a feasibility study alternative? Plan B, let's call it,
as far as,
an alternative.
so the choices are either that part of money for the actual art park gets moved to the other projects, or we have to go forward with the art park as designed. And then it's ready to be bid out as far as that goes.
But you've not received any bids yet, so we don't.
No, we haven't
that's
put it
gonna
out to
be-
bid.
That's gonna be double, just like.
Probably. So that's, we kind of threw that to the state as, what do you want to do? Do you want to do a half a project here and half a project there? Or do you want to do a whole project somewhere? where it's at.
Is it true that if we're not careful, the money will be kind of not utilized
No, no, we'll still get the same amount.
within the timeframe?
Believe us, we're frustrated with it just as much as you are.
Can I jump in for a second?
Mhm.
Alex hasn't addressed it, but he has some interest in us moving the money other places than Marvin Park. You just said to him that the state has told us we have to move it to projects, plural, so the possibility may be there that it can go some other places. If you have some ideas, you'll certainly be welcome
Yeah, I've been presenting.
to present them.
ideas about, you
It
know,
may
how
be
to-
able to go
So-
various places, we'll see.
And part of that moving the money process, we had to say we're moving it too, so that's all in the works. As far as that goes.
So there's nothing preventing us proposing where this money could,
Other than it's already all submitted to the state, so we would have to restart that approval process. Based on the bids we have for the other projects that we have going. Just trying to shuffle the pot of money to, which, when we first got it, they said would be easy, and it's not at all easy. It has to go all the way up to the comptroller to sign the thing. And it was all supposed to be one big grant from the state with separate sub-grants as the projects, so that we could take money from here and put it there and whatever. But that's not how it works out.
but precedent has been set, and money has moved from one project to
Not within our bucket. So we took some extra money for projects that didn't happen, like the museum, and they gave it to the fire station. But the state did that. We didn't. We said we'd like it, and the state went and did it. So we haven't moved money from one of our projects to another one of our projects at all yet.
Once again, without the state's approval, we
Right.
moved some money from the Draper Park
Right.
stuff, but it all has to be approved by the state. We recommended it and they allowed. Alex, my recommendation to you is if you have something that you think that you want done, you don't have to have an incredibly put together proposal, but come back to this board with a proposal. Don't just give us a quick idea
No, that's what I'm
tonight, but
saying.
come back with a solid idea of
we'd like
what
to
you're
present
thinking.
a solid idea
Yeah.
of plan B, which,
Right.
Yeah.
you know,
And one of the things they're checking into, right, so up until now, the projects haven't exceeded the amount we originally asked for. Like when we kind of moved stuff around, it was fully funding stuff up to the level that we asked in the plan to fund. So now with this move, they're potentially gonna take money and give, I'm gonna call it extra money for a project, right? So like Marvin Park, we asked for 1.2 million. Well, if we add this extra money to it, now we get more money from Marvin Park. Technically, that's against one of the DRI rules. But it's been broken other places, so they're trying to, I don't know. Because, I mean, they came up with those numbers 5 years ago, so.
right. I mean, we've got various projects, and we've been able to move monies from
Right.
one to another, and even.
So apparently it's much easier on the private side than this side, imagine that. And getting reimbursed is much easier on your side too. We're still waiting for money from May.
We are too.
Unless we, so if you have ideas, get it fleshed out to some degree and get it back
Right.
because it may be too late anyways, but if it's not too late, it's gonna get to be too late and
Yeah.
it'll get to be too late real quick, so.
You know, it's all moving quick, so if you have ideas.
I mean, the state's moving slow, but our ability to do things goes away faster and faster.
The state moves slow, we have to submit to them what we want.
Well, perhaps at this parking meeting, I could present to at least 3 board members or 3, you're more than welcome to have a coffee.
Okay. I don't know what I'm doing Thursday morning, but I will. If I can
Rest-
make it
and-
up
and
there.
you- 2 trolls. Get it back to you.
So anyway, yeah, I mean, it's not unheard of, but we have to submit to the state what we want to do so that they can approve it or deny it.
And you don't have to go through Tioga County, you can go directly up to the state
Right,
level.
yeah, no, we work with the Department of State.
I don't
don't know if this is gonna come up tonight, but I came to support this services agreement with Julie Nucci. Most of you know about what she's done over the past, probably a year and a half, maybe two. And, she'd like to continue doing it, but would like to do it as a consulting service up to a maximum of 25 grand a year. Before I knew about this professional service agreement, I sent all of the trustees a letter or an email about the HMGP, the CRS, and the CSC. And I would like to answer any questions that you have, not right here and now, because I know you got a busy schedule tonight and I have to leave early anyway. But if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call, either solo or in a group. I've also been working on it for a while and hopefully can answer questions thoroughly.
Thanks for volunteering for help.
It's a hobby, I'm afraid.
I got a couple things.
Perfect.
I already talked to Rusty about this a little bit, but the guys that painted the lines, were they at the Rainbow before they did that?
You're right, some of the state ones are interesting.
Yeah. But, my other thing is now parking. It's 96 hours, right?
Right.
Car can sit there 96 hours. Who, is OPD supposed to take care of that and watch
Yeah,
it?
they can. It's a process, they have to mark.
They had a car parked up in front of my place for 2 months.
Yeah, so.
And then they moved out and left the car. Landlord had it towed, but there's another one over there sitting right at the edge of my driveway with a trailer hitch. I gotta pull in the driveway, I gotta go over the curb. It's been there for 2 weeks.
So if you call them, they can.
Never moved.
Track it and then do something about it.
But I still wanna see Page Street get turned one way.
With
And
you.
I actually had a problem on the corner of Page off of front. There was a car parked right on the edge of that.
Pennsylvania plates, right on the.
Yeah, and I was like,
So
is
that
this
car
just,
blew up and they pushed it there and it's been sitting there for.
it's been up there like 2 weeks now.
I
So
think
they
it's
just-
gone.
No, it's
Oh.
moved up.
No,
They
it's moved
pushed
up,
it
it's the same
one
car. I
spot.
seen it
Which
today.
is this,
They
Charles? Say
pushed
that
it
again?
up one spot today,
The
they
one-
painted
If you
the
turn
lines.
off of, Front Street onto Page,
Oh, yeah, it's on the left, right at the
it's
corner.
right there, right at the corner.
I
It's
just-
one spot up, no, because they pushed it
Yeah,
up.
they pushed it
one
up, it's the
spot.
same vehicle. I thought maybe it was a resident, but that's those
It
plates.
is, it is, she
We-
lives in that apartment building. But
I
it
thought it was an
blew up
abandoned car.
and some people pushed it up the road.
This is not our time. I'm
Yeah, I'm
saying,
sorry,
no,
but
this
that's
is their time, but
yeah.
I do want to throw, because of that, I just looked at the parking rules up in the code to see how close they could be to that corner. They can't be there.
No, yeah, no, that was it.
And more later, more.
Now, I don't know how many of you were online for the training Thursday on the mini boot camp thing there. They did the EPA in the brownfields. Now, I may be wrong, but isn't Stackmore considered a brownfield? Is there is a ton of money available, grant money available from the EPA that the village could apply for to clean that up and make it usable land again. Not to mention,
Part of the foundry is.
yeah, not to mention it'll probably help to clean up the creek. But there's like, a couple of them are $1 million, up to $1 million, up to $2 million. And it might be something somebody wants to look into.
Yeah, I think it might be. We can check it out though. That's good info.
Make it usable, get it back on the tax rolls with good money coming in.
That'd be nice, right?
I heard Rusty's buying everybody ice cream down at the fire station after the meeting.
I know we gotta get out of here by 9 though, right?
I like the ice cream truck. Is that from
Fire department.
the fire department or the EMS?
Fire department. Anything else? Good?
No, that's it.
All right. Perfect.
I'm gonna be out here early anyways.
Thanks, Mike.
Hopefully we all. I shouldn't say this. Anybody else, public comment?
I came here just to say that the Porch Fest was really, really well done. So kudos go out to Carol and
Yeah.
whoever else helped do everything. I know that Peter Gordon did the signs and he was helping us up afterwards. But it was a nice event, nice people, nice music, and she deserved a lot of credit. She pulled that together really fast.
Really quick.
And, proud.
I was amazed how many musicians she had lined up that fast, because I mean, it was in weeks that she pulled that together, so.
Yeah, yep, so well done,
Thank you.
Carol.
Beautiful day, nice thing.
I know I was stuck at the concession stand over at football. I would like to go down and wander around. A couple of the bands I like to see were playing too, so. But anyway. Anybody else? Public comment? All right. Move on with department head reports. Paul?
I handed out my sheet. We've had 186 medical calls that we were dispatched to. That's kind of inflated by the bunch of gas calls that most of them were not attended by EMS because we had other calls of our own. We've given out 11 mutual aids to other districts. We received about 22. I just got my sheet for the month this morning. And some of that's due to one ambulance for 1.5 weeks, and we were multiple deep in calls all at the same time. It seemed like there was 3 days in a row. There was 1, there was 4. So lots of calls, another football game covered, vehicles is listed, everything's in service. Fred's guy, Justin, put 32 back together after the idler pulley went on the highway coming back from a call, and it's getting some work done tomorrow at the village whenever Justin sends us the text message, and it's gonna be out for a couple days next week. 33 is back, the torque converters changed, reverse switch, and other parts are on back order. And just friendly reminders about key access and the healthcare bonus for Simon.
We talked to Jim about the keys Friday.
Okay.
So hopefully that's gonna get fixed.
Okay.
And the form was submitted for signing, right?
Perfect. And I had one other thing on the agenda about the part-timer raise.
Oh, yes, yeah. Wanna do that now? If anybody would like to.
I make the motion to approve $1 per hour pay increase for part-time EMT Matt Sodden from $27 per hour to $28 per hour.
I'll second.
All right, any discussion on that?
Sure, what's one you get? Okay, and I forget, do we have anybody else on part-time or just him?
We have a couple other people on part-time, but they haven't worked in a while, so they're not,
Just not kind of in,
yeah, one covers occasionally when she's not working her other job, and the other one's in med school.
what's our rate for them, just general? I can't remember.
I think the one is that both of them are 25 still.
So this gentleman,
Don't take my word for
no,
that.
that's fine.
Okay.
This gentleman is there quite often and he's doing a good
yeah,
job. Okay.
he's 20 hours a week.
19 and a half, I said.
Yeah, that's right.
Or 19 and a half hours a
Yeah.
week on average.
Right.
They don't get the auto raise that the full-time people do.
Right.
And I forgot about it.
What are they doing now? So.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right, any other discussion? Rusty?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Dave? Yes. Charles?
Yes.
We got Ed online.
Yes.
My last thing is the LoSAP for EMS is still hanging out there, so my schedule is building up on pretty good for October. I'm gone for 3 months in November, and nobody's gonna want extra meetings in December, so I like to have that all cleared up by the end of the year, so it gets on the, village election in March.
Right. That's-
I'm not trying to fuss with you. You're going away for 3 months or 3 weeks?
3 weeks, if I misspoke.
No,
it's
no, I wasn't
three-
trying to fuss with you, I just want to make
It's
sure.
like 2.5 weeks.
Okay.
You know, can we all come?
Sure.
I want you to get away for 3 months if you can.
Okay.
So, I don't know if you guys want me to, push buttons, or you guys wanna schedule a meeting, or what you'd like to do. So I'd just like to continue that quest onward.
Okay.
Okay? Because if we're gonna do it at the March elections, we have to act like we're doing it January 1st, so all of our record keeping is up to snuff.
It's 90-day.
I mean, if we're gonna do it, that's the time to do it, because at the elections, we don't have to hold an extra election.
Yes, and I agree with the commentary the last time or 2 meetings ago that would be the correct time. And the folks I've been working with said that's perfectly legal and they've done that before.
Alright.
Okay. That's it for me.
Anybody have any EMS?
Thank you for your service.
Have a good banquet, sorry I won't be there.
Thank you.
Brett?
I will skip you with the boring part, what we do every day, but I just want to let you know what we did above. The rural ministry, that whole side bank on North Avenue, we cleaned that all up, took all the trees out, bamboo trees. And then, as we're going out underneath the viaducts, that whole side bank, other than a tree, we need to trim up, but we haven't got that far because our water pump went on the chipper. I don't know if you want me to talk about the DRI for the south side in Marvin Park.
You can, yeah.
Okay.
We were with James.
So I met up with James and the electricians on the south side with Rick and I. And nothing was drawn up right for the DRI project on the lighting. So if everybody knows that, then I'll leave it alone.
I mean, I know it. Yeah,
And
so
Russell's-
a ball got dropped there, so.
Yeah.
Because we knew it's a 3-way thing. There's underground, there's light pole, there's light, there's who.
Well, it's not even
it's
that. We
all
haven't
those
even
things.
got a hold of NICEAG.
Yeah, it's all those entities and all the pieces that didn't come together.
So we're figuring out how to fix it.
Okay, so the next thing is, Streeter had a independent utility locator for the bathrooms, because we didn't know exactly how the sewer ran. I spent a lot of days down there at Marvin Park designing a sewer from the old one to what I think should be done this time. There's not much there's not much pitch from the bathroom to the clean out by the tennis courts. And we're gonna bring the sewer out the front instead of the back and around with the 345s that are there now. So that is what's gonna happen there, and it's gonna be roughly 170 feet of new 4-inch sewer pipe. Because there's no pitch at all. We got all the material around for the chief, Kennedy, for the bonfire. So he's all set there. I mean, that's pretty much it, if you don't want to talk about that. And then I have one thing I need from the board by the next meeting. I have a tree that is unsafe at 249 Prospect Street. I'm waiting the 45 days, but I need the okay, the 16th, the next board meeting, to be ready for the November 2nd, because we won't have another board meeting between there, to cut down this tree.
Right. You need an okay to hire somebody to cut down the tree.
Yeah, I'm gonna use our Tony.
I saw the notes about that, Dave. So there's a dead tree in a yard, it's in a backyard, but, deemed a hazard because of its position over the neighboring.
It's a very dangerous tree that's leaning towards the neighbor's house.
So, and they believe that because the owner's been contacted over this period, they wanna have, and they don't believe they're gonna remove it.
No,
And-
no.
Yeah,
I'm just covering my bases so that I can have it down November 2nd.
right, so then November 2nd is the first day that they can do it, and they
Yep.
wanna do it then because it's getting cold, and the tree is dead, and it's
Yep.
harmful, so they wanna have a
Correct.
authorization to remove it. So what's the price of that? You don't need authorization.
Well, I need it by the board
For the money?
members. No, not for the money, for the board members to give you the okay to do it.
Because you have to enter their property.
Yes.
Trees on their property.
So I'll move to,
It's on the corner of our property and their property.
Is it on both properties?
Got a certified letter.
Yes, we got two of them. One went on their door and one was mailed to them.
And that's why we can't do it today, we gotta wait for 45 days. Because we'd like to cut it down today,
Right,
yesterday.
correct.
I just move that we're aware and we give them authorization for the date of the November 2nd to line up the removal if it's not been completed by the
Right, the
resident.
45 days.
Right.
Yeah.
And if it's done before the 45 days, then so be it, the owner took care of it.
So that's for 249 Prospect Street, dead tree removal.
Yes.
So I'm motion for that.
For a second.
Why was-
I'll second that.
Excuse me, Russ?
No, I'm just trying to, having trouble with that, all that verbiage on that motion. So
Now we got
we're
discussion.
just authorizing the village to take that down
Correct, yes. If it stays there for 45 more days.
after the 45 days.
Wait,
And then it will be put on his taxes.
Yes, sir.
Right, that's all.
Yep.
Actually,
Be put on-
Yep.
that's how the property, or the process works, yeah. With anything, whether it's a tree, a lawn, garbage, whatever. We don't do it for free,
We can do it now, we can do it next meeting, wherever you guys want to do it.
but we already got a motion in a second.
Okay.
So, okay. Good, we'll vote. Rusty?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Dave? Yes. Charles?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
And yes. Very good. So now you're all clear.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody have anything for DPW?
Yeah, I wanted to quickly ask, without going into great detail, about the sewer line that we're talking about
go
moving.
ahead.
Are we talking about doing it with our money, with our guy? Are we talking about doing it within the DRI money?
DRI money.
Yeah, it's all DRI. They're just changing the.
Fine.
The exit of the.
To make a long story short, it comes out towards the playground where the old tank used to be.
No, You told me all, I know what it is. I just
Okay.
wanted to know how was,
Yeah,
was
no,
doing
it's
it,
all
how was being
DRI
paid for.
money.
Yeah,
That's a long run, 170 feet,
excuse me?
170 feet?
Yeah, you gotta get past the blacktop. You gotta get it out in the dirt by the tennis courts where the new, where the,
Cleanouts in there.
there's a clean out at the pool, at the barn, which, or at the bathroom, which is gonna come to the front side, and then there's another clean out halfway down. And then there's a manhole down in front of the pool. And we're eliminating that clean out that goes around the pool. And then there's like 345 and bring everything out the front, put a clean out there, and then run another clean out at 170 feet, tie into that clean out. Yep.
Thank you to you and the crew for the job that you did.
Thank you. Excuse me?
Do you guys know if the, not the contractor, the gentleman that was here last, Hunt Engineering, got all the information about the roof for the station?
As far as I know, but
Okay. So I know he was waiting for a couple tidbits of information, just curious.
We needed information about the, we know the regular roof, we need the
Right.
further information
Right.
about the roof under the tower.
Okay.
Leaving the tower.
I assume he'll be back by next meeting. to clean all that stuff.
What's the, I can't remember darn electrician's names. What's their name? What's the company's name?
Decal?
However you say
It's
it?
not Dyco, that's how it's spelled.
Okay, Dykow. So they moved in their bases for lights today. For the one across from when you pull into Fairgrounds, across both sides of the road there, for that, and for the tennis courts. And I moved them all the way out behind the grandstand at the, so that when we had the Chiefs thing, just so nobody would hit them or whatever, or trip on them or fall or whatever.
Yeah, in general, they're gonna mobilize, start working on Marvin Park October
Next week, right?
8th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they, the electric company, or electric
He's there
contractor.
early, cause he's the same guy who's been doing the parking lots.
Correct, and then I meet with Streeter tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
For demo.
So the Streeter's coming next week.
Streeter's coming, well, to bring their stuff in next week,
Right.
yeah, so I have a meeting with them tomorrow. Here's the other kicker to this. I forgot to mention this, sorry. Dairy One has cameras on that. And you know the whole story with Dairy One, Tyler's not working there.
Oh, I didn't hear that part.
Yeah.
Great.
So I don't know what we're gonna do in the future or now. I don't really know much about computers and their cameras.
Right. We'll have to get with them to move them before they demolish them. Cause you're right, there are 2 cameras on that bathroom.
Correct. Well, Rick moved the power off of the bathroom Friday. But like he said, he doesn't really know much about the cameras himself.
Make sure they don't destroy the cameras.
Yeah, I didn't know if they did the end part of their bid. I don't know.
I bet nobody thought about that, to be honest.
So I can deal with Streeter tomorrow in the meeting about it. Okay.
Cause they're just there because they were mounted there.
Yeah, well, it runs all conduit all the way around it.
Right.
Yeah.
But we need to save all that stuff.
Yeah. And then put it back up.
Yeah, I'll have to get put back up.
So I've been talking to Rick about that, and Tyler's on the fair board. If he would mandate them for his, working for the fair board, I guess, that's what I'm trying to hope for, since he knows the system.
Right. Yeah, he knows it best.
Excuse me?
He knows it best.
Yeah, well, that, and I don't think Dairy One had to come down other than Tyler, we will be paying up way more.
Probably.
Yeah. If they have to send another person down here, and you know what I'm getting at here. So I'll ask Streeter and I'll get a hold of Tyler or Rick tomorrow.
Okay.
And see if he talked to him, if he's gonna do that for being on the fair board.
Yeah, that's a good catch. We need to not let them demolish those cameras.
Yeah. For sure. I'm good.
DPW, anybody? We're good? Fire department?
I haven't heard anything from the fire department. Got the fire department meeting tomorrow. No, what is this, Monday? Wednesday.
Only thing I got is they got the ice cream truck out there in front of the station. That benefits the nonprofit fire department corporation, so everybody's clear. Not the host team, not the village department, but their corporation and members belong to it.
Fair enough.
Stop in and get some ice cream.
All screen fries.
I saw some good pictures of ice cream already today.
Oh, trying to stay away from those pictures.
Definitely not on my diet. Police department?
Talked to Joe today, didn't have anything at the moment for me, you, us.
Besides appreciation night,
Yeah,
Friday
of course,
night,
appreciation.
5 to 9 or 10.
Fireworks at 9:30, so,
Bands, food, fireworks.
I'm sorry?
Hay rides,
I believe the fireworks are at 9:30,
face painting, yeah, I think so.
just bigger and better every year.
Giant bonfire.
Yeah.
Be fun. And then we'll demolish Marvin Park the next day. Mr. Clerk, oh, sewer, we never heard from dirt.
It's the 6th, right, Dustin? Isn't that?
Yeah.
So was it
Nothing from dirt for sewer,
Friday?
clerk's office?
Time's actually start.
I think it starts at 5.
All right.
This thing started at 5, Mike? We got the
Yeah.
appreciation at 5.
Five. All right, next thing is, let's see, we can probably cross the MS discussion off there, maybe. Right? You could,
Yeah, that's,
and
I'm
cross
just
off
keeping
Streeter
it on
yourself.
the agenda, so it's not forgotten.
Yep, yeah, good plan. So next thing would be discussion on COVID bonus. So, last meeting, made a resolution to give our PBA members a bonus out of our ARPA money for working during COVID. So some of our other employees have now asked for a similar thing, or the same thing,
Department of Public Works.
and others. So it's a question of what we want to do. And we don't have to have a decision tonight, but just know that people are, right, our PBA is only a certain subset of our employees, so what do we do with the other ones? It's up to all you guys.
We might want to have some further discussion. I don't know, we might want to have a chat with Nate with some advice.
Probably a good idea.
Because this thing expands every time you look. It expands from union people to other union people to full-time people to part-time people to, it does. So we need to think about this, how we're doing this, what we're doing.
So I just put on here as a discussion to bring up the topic. Gary?
Yeah, let's do,
We'll
get
dig
together,
into that.
we'll get together and pass that around.
Next thing is professional services agreement. So this is Julie Nucci's thing. I'm sure everybody got all of the emails about it. Except maybe Rusty. He's
No, I've
printed out.
been on the phone with Julie and I had the
Right.
thing. So I spoke this afternoon with Julie and she had intended to be here and is traveling, doing things, yeah, can't be here, so we can't. And so, more than happy to have that discussion with us and talk to us in further detail. We'll need to, I think she was saying, can't remember when she was available, but coming up
I'll take part of the next meeting.
so we should continue to do that. She wasn't sure she could be on here, but even that, trying to have the discussion and answer the questions on the,
Yeah,
wasn't the best, so I think she's planning to come and talk to us more about it, which is what we wanted, and now we have a potential.
Yeah, so we have a contract.
We have a potential contract with,
Drawn up to look at. My biggest issue with it is where are we gonna get the money?
it's one of our questions.
I don't really have an issue with the contract itself, other than how we're gonna pay for it.
But, yep,
I thought this was coming up for the vote tonight, not to wait any longer.
well,
I mean,
certainly,
it could.
anything can come up for vote, but
Yeah.
there's nothing that has to come up for a vote. I was just giving my opinion with my discussion with Julie.
Yeah, I talked to her for a while too. I know she wants us to sign the contract, but like I said, my only reservation with it is where do we get the money from to pay the contract.
Part of it's paid for through, small portion is paid for through a grant that she got, and she continues to get more grants. And writing that work to get it paid for into the other grants, she knows is important, and is writing that in. And she's getting people, professionals, to do these services for us for free, to help us do the projects. So even though it's hard for us to find a little bit of money, she's getting us so much more with it. So it's really beneficial for us to, just to figure out how to get a small amount more than she's already got from the grant. And we can divide it from the sewer department budget, so that part's easy to, because they make money, to find that, funding out of that, because, it's a lot of that, the water work and the infrastructure and stuff, so. it's, you know, stuff that's gonna build our infrastructure and our abilities, you know, for building for our future, so it's a small investment with a big return.
I know, I was talking to Nate earlier about this same exact topic, and we were talking, you know, a lot of the goal with Julie and the work she's doing is to get into the CRS and get a discount on flood insurance. And, but that discount is for everybody, so we may be able to petition's probably not the right word. Nate has a good term for it. But petition all of our local nonprofits, churches, other local governments, school districts, because the work she's doing is gonna benefit them with a reduction in their flood insurance. And they can, even though they don't pay taxes, they
benefit.
Nate can tell us, but they can somehow give us money to contribute to somebody's salary, truly. Because they're gonna benefit more than anybody, really. Because they have the biggest buildings and the biggest flood insurance policies, probably.
So a methodology where we may be able to get, other than just the taxpayers of the village
Right.
to have partial payment stake in this. That's certainly something to look for.
Right, Nate, what was that term you used?
Yeah, the phrase was a host community agreement.
Oh, what did you say? Host?
Yeah, host community agreement.
So that may be a place where we can get a little bit of money, and we got a little bit of money from the grant, and we got a little bit of money from, because we can spread out with the sewer, because she's working on some of that stuff.
We would save money on our insurance that we pay on our buildings also.
Right. So at the end of the day, right, that the $25,000 number, that's a 1% tax increase. So we have to justify that it's worth a 1% tax increase for everybody in the village.
Which we're continuing as we go through this. We've got a whole lot of 1% and 5% tax increase things.
So even though it's not a lot of money, it is still $25,000. Not like we got extra money floating around. We're not broke, but there's a lot of services we provide. So.
Fred mentioned you needed a truck.
It could be anything, truck, police car. We got, our comps grant is ending next budget year. So we're gonna come up with $200,000 more to pay police officers
Fred needs an $80,000, $90,000 dump truck.
every time. I mean, somebody always needs something.
Hey, Mr. Mayor, can I ask a question?
Yep.
So, you know, we normally have a competitive bidding process for things that the village buys.
Yep.
Is there no, organization or company which provides the same type of service which we should be seeking a bid from?
Yeah, so there are, this is a professional service, kind of like a architect, engineer, lawyer. So we technically don't have to, but some of the grants would require that we bid that out. So, I don't know, kind of a catch-22.
Is Julie an architect or an engineer?
No, but
or
be a consultant, which is a professional
Right.
service.
Okay.
So technically, for our procurement policy, we don't have to, but some of the grants say that that is a biddable thing. So if we're gonna fund it with grants, it might get sticky.
Yeah, I'd be fine funding it with grants. I don't see, the village dipping into our pockets for a 1% tax increase for this.
So if we do wanna fund it with grants, there's different requirements on what needs to be bid out than what we typically require being bid out, you know what I mean? At least one of the grants says it has to be, the other ones, I'm not sure.
So I know that you're interested in potentially doing this evening. I'm still interested in having Julie come and be able to talk to us straight and answer our questions straight, to work on doubts or work on things. Tell us what you're gonna do. Tell us what you're gonna do with Dan from Oklahoma. Tell us what you're gonna do with this. Tell us how, you already have, but tell us how important this is and this and this and this and this and why it needs to be this and this and this and this. I still would like her to do that. And she's willing to do it. It's just a matter of getting the time.
Well, and the question comes, so if we do this right now, this budget year, right, obviously this isn't in our budget this year. So we're gonna have to figure out where we take money from to fund it.
As we
Build it in the
think
budget
about
next year.
throwing more, not throwing, but rewarding more ARPA money to a whole bunch of more people, and all of a sudden, before you know it, that's $20, $30, $40, $50,000. I'd say, yeah, this money stuff
It's
is
all something.
tough stuff.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with Russ. It would really be great if she could come present to us what, you know, what that plan is, what, you know, what we're getting for that consulting fee.
Right.
And that she's willing to do it. We just have to get her here. She cannot be here tonight.
Yep.
But yeah, she'll do it.
Yep.
And I guess I would wanna know the benefit versus the cost, right? So
All that.
if you're 1% of your village tax, is that more or less than 5% of your flood insurance number? I don't know.
Well, that's all part of the money stuff.
Just
So I'm going to say this little piece and then I'm not trying to, Julie is valuable. It's just a matter of, we have to put this all together and shake it all up. She's valuable. Money is money. And then part of the thought process on this has to be, what additional expenses does this then set in motion? We have to look at all this stuff, what administration, so we're gonna do more and more things, get more and more stuff, but then we don't have hardly any staff right now to do the things we do. We have to look at all this stuff. So let's look at it all, get her take. Back to you. Sorry.
I'm also a little concerned about the precedent that it sets. You know, we have many committees of the board where people are not compensated, and you know, why are those folks not compensated for the work that they do, you know, day in and day out, just like Julie's doing? Just for what it's worth.
Yeah, right. True.
Let's get some more information and then we'll try to hash this out.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's against the work. It's just, how do we afford it with everything we got going? Matches for Temple Street and cops grants run out.
A few meetings ago, Julie was here and she gave a great presentation, visuals about, you know, the whole process and what was going on and the steps. And so that would be a great thing to review. I don't think Ed was at that meeting, so maybe just watching that, it was right at the beginning, first thing that we all saw. It wasn't very long, but it'd be a good reminder because she's presented here in person, and offered to answer our questions many times.
Yeah, I recall her presenting that.
And that's a good piece. And actually, because we're talking now more about what she's going to do in the future, but that was an excellent piece of what has already been done. So that was a necessary piece of information for us also. What's been done.
She laid out what's been done, but also, it's like 1.3 million grants for a chain for the future, right? That was just what's been done in the past, and then here's all this stuff that needs to be managed, and we, you know, need somebody to manage it, and she's working on it, and
That's the problem with grants, right? We don't have a huge staff, so the more grants we get are great, but they come with mountains of paperwork.
right, but it's getting our infrastructure improvements for, you know, stormwater analysis for the whole village, so that we can see about fixing our major problems about just driving around town after you know, when there's a storm event. You know, big rain, we have a big problem. It's not just when a big flood comes. So it's getting help for every, you know, everyday life for everybody.
I guess we just have to justify. I mean, a lot of the stuff that she's gotten to date are studies and that kind of stuff that aren't things that we can point to or stuff. They're not a road, they're not a police officer, they're not.
Once again, we can have this.
I mean, you need the
we can
studies
have
to
this,
get the stuff
right.
done, but.
Mike, we can have the talk, I'm not fussing with you, we can have the talk right now, even though we're kind of not very prepared for it, but we certainly recognize tons of value and recognize that certain things, as you do them, get you certain places along the line. We get all that, but it's still, the conversation still is kind of open yet.
Right. And the root thing is we gotta figure out how to fund it. Because right now it's not in the budget. So where does that 25,000 come from?
3,000 apiece,
Yeah, right.
including it.
And we're not set to budget again until March.
So Laura, what do you want to do?
Just move on.
So we'll keep talking about that. Next thing is transfer.
What's it? Oh, that's it. Is it the one this the one we did last time?
I thought it was.
No, it's a separate.
Hey, guys, I've got to jump off.
Thanks,
Okay,
Ed.
Thanks, Ed.
Okay.
This isn't the 380 that we got and we transferred it to the,
I think it is.
Yeah, we did that last
Yeah, those
You know
the
what?
abandoned
Just
money.
All right, let's see what.
let's see, I got the
We did that last.
minutes, maybe it's right in there, but go ahead, let's move on and I'll see if it's in the minutes.
I think we did, I looked in.
It was not in
It
there?
didn't have the number.
Oh, we didn't have
We
the
didn't have
numbers
the-
of the things,
Yeah.
the numbers, but that was part of the motion to put the appropriate numbers.
So no, if that's the same one, I'll put that.
You want to make a new one? Just tell me.
Well, just go with this one.
This right here?
Never hurts.
Never.
Move to approve transfer of $380 from A2625 forfeiture of crime proceeds to A755040 celebrations. You want
Second.
that? Yeah, good.
Right, and that description was.
It says in
Because I think
parentheses,
last time we asked what it was or something like that.
it says in parentheses, it was unclaimed abandoned money from OPD evidence. Put that in there if you choose.
Any discussion on that? Larissa?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Liz? Charles?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Next is payment of bills. Nobody likes bills.
Judge Bolin asked me, he was looking for, he had a couple of checks that he needed replacements for. Have they been replaced?
They should be. Are they in there?
They're supposed to be there.
I didn't explicitly check, we kept them. But yes, they're supposed to be in here.
Okay, I looked through, but I
Like I just
I
spot
wouldn't
checked it.
change the numbers because it would have been a replacement check, and so I
Right,
wouldn't have seen it.
except they were from like 2 years
January,
ago.
it's 9 months old.
Yeah, it was like two checks that were older or something.
Jump in.
That's probably, just give me back the budgets,
How should I get it sorted? B or D? Both, Dave's both.
Transfer.
Yes,
We're
so
approving the payment.
his 2 checks are in here.
Awesome, thank you. I'll motion for the payment of bills for September.
Second.
Any discussion on the payment of bills besides Dave's checks? Rusty?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Dave? Yes. Charles?
Yes.
And yes.
Vote on the transfer.
All right, next thing, treasurer's
Yes.
report. So this is back from August. So everybody get the treasurer's report now?
I think we did.
Should be here.
That's right.
Did we vote on the transfer?
Yeah.
Okay.
You voted yes. So the treasurer's report, anybody have a motion to accept it?
So moved.
I'll second.
You good with it, Mike?
Yeah.
This is the August one, not the
The
September.
August, yeah, because remember where the computer was screwed up.
Yeah.
All right. Rusty?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Dave? Yes. Charles?
Yes.
And yes. Minutes.
I move that we approve the minutes for September 18th as submitted.
Second. Any discussion on the minutes, number 18? Rusty?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Dave? Yes. Charles?
Yes.
And yes. Moving right along. Trustee reports.
Holy smokes.
Rusty,
No,
you good?
Yep.
Did you come back to you later?
yes, we know I'll have something later. I'm writing 3 things down. My brain can't remember them.
Circle back around.
Yeah.
All right.
OHPC is going to have a meeting on the 5th, Thursday, 7 p.m. There's one application on the agenda that's new.
Do they have the virtual thing on their agenda? Are they doing a hybrid meeting?
I'll check.
Because if they are, I need to go start. Because they screwed up last time. Oops. So just somebody remind me, I'll stop and start it.
Okay, I'll check and see. The Taft County Crop Walk
Oh, yes.
reached out, and they're gonna have their normal walk. It's gonna be Sunday, October 15th at 2 p.m. They're gonna have 2 routes. One's a 1.5 mile, one's a 3 mile. They're gonna start at the United Methodist Church at 261 Main Street, and they're gonna circle around. They're gonna end at St. Pat's on Main Street. So people are starting and ending at the same area, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna use sidewalks, they're gonna use the river walk, and they're not asking for any police assistance or anything like that. They're just gonna be doing the route, and they just wanted everybody to know. At the next meeting, I'd like to have the CRS 510 resolution come up, the United Solar Permit resolution.
Are they the same thing? You
Nope.
said what's
Nope.
510, what's that?
CRS 510
I don't know what that is.
That's to
resolution.
include
Oh,
for
that
the
is-
hazard mitigation.
Yeah, so that's the hazard mitigation plan. Every 5 years,
Oh, yeah.
we have to update the hazard mitigation plan for the government. And so we show what we have in the plans, what our needs are, what we're doing to act on it, and then as we go about our business, getting grants or doing work, they review back to the plan to see if we've identified in it certain things. And so this would identify that flooding is a big problem that we're working on.
Where is this resolution? Do we have it?
Well, we got one that I shared maybe last month or so, and then we got one from the lady who spoke at the last meeting that was for the Oklahoma City. So that was that resolution was a little bit more wordier than we are, because we're just a village and they're a huge city. And so they're gonna modify the language of those resolutions
Who's the
to
they?
us. Well, Kevin and,
Just, I don't know any
you
of this
know,
stuff.
the committee, yeah.
You're asking that we pass a resolution, don't know what it is, who's doing it, what's going on, they're gonna modify it, so we don't have it yet.
So that was the president of the, National Hazard Mitigation Association.
You talk about Ann.
Yep, and she was the one who sent us the sample language. It was just, it was, you know,
Who
more
did
involved than
who did
we-
she send this to? Our committee?
yeah,
Yeah.
So
you didn't get that?
she sent stuff to the committee or somebody's gonna make it into a resolution. They're gonna have it ready for us
For the
soon, because
next meeting.
you said you wanted to.
Well, they want to have it before the next meeting, so we have all time to read it.
Thank you, I'm
But
not trying to,
that
get it
is,
all.
all right, so the CRS 510 resolution is that is coming. You'll see the language for, hopefully we'll have for the next, on the agenda for the next meeting, and somebody to talk about what it is. And then the United Solar Permit, that is where
Yeah, it's the code update.
the code, yep, update of code so that it's just for small operations here, businesses and homeowners, no big solar fields. This is just for home applications where if you're going to install solar on your home and you're going to like any sort of name brand system, there's just these normal rules that you can follow that would be in the building code so that you would have a streamlined process that goes through just like they have for like when you're replacing your roof. If you follow all these rules, you can get through, you know, it's just a simple roof job, right? If you follow all the standard rules for the solar permit, it just creates this easy system. However, if you have your own system that you're devising for your home, that's when it triggers the code enforcement officer to have to review your system with extra time. Otherwise, he'd have to review every single person going through, and this would make it so that he would only have to spend his time on the custom systems.
And how long a thing is this? Resolution, is that's just the state one that they have, is this?
The resolution is just like a page or something.
Not the resolution, well, it's the whole
The
rules,
whole
it's like
laws.
1 page, 10 page, 100 page.
Laws like over 100 pages.
So we're
There's
gonna
pictures
pass
in
that
it.
whole law to be part of our law.
Right. There's pictures that tell you where you can place it on your home. You know, like it gives like, you know, all the math of like square footage and it's just basic safety though, so that people don't electrocute themselves or burn down their homes. It is standard building code. It is.
If I have professional solar panel, it comes with certain standard brackets to mount hardware to mount it to the roof, where a homeowner might figure bungee cords are good enough, you know.
Yeah, I get that concept. I'm just saying, here we go, we're gonna put a state 100-page thing into our code that everybody is, I know it's the idea is to simplify it. Does it simplify it, or is this adding 100 pages of stuff that people have to try and dance through every little detail of this stuff? I'm just asking.
Well, they have to dance through every detail now through code, through the building permit process. This would streamline it. You can already apply and put solar panels on your home. He just would have to, you know, go over each system with and go over the laws himself.
I hear you.
Without us just having officially adopted a streamlined route for him to do it.
I hear you. I'm just fussing about every time we start putting in 47 pages of state stuff, does it streamline stuff or does it add more stuff to us? That's just the point I'm making. Gotcha.
That's how the state works.
Yeah.
So there's also, we have the woman who I believe is coming to our next meeting to present about the water source protection program, about helping us for free to pull some meetings together to see about how we can protect our water. And so that would be the next meeting.
Is that something we set up last meeting or not? I forgot.
I remember that. Because
Yeah, to invite her.
that she was
Yeah.
talking about.
Yep, so I think that this next meeting, yeah, so she said October, maybe October, MJ.
She's signed up, she's coming, like somebody got a hold of her.
What's that?
Somebody got a hold of her and she's coming.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm not sure about which specific date, but she said October, so
Okay.
hopefully October 16th.
Well, yeah, she's not here tonight, right? So-
Yeah. And Julie did find somebody from the National Hazard Mitigation Association who would be paid to help us do the CRS work and the CRS 510 resolution. So that's awesome because normally, people pay consultants, and so this is, somebody willing to do that work for free that she's found. So that'll be presented also. I think that's it for me.
Okay. Dave,
Nothing tonight.
we're good? Charles?
I think we covered everything of importance. I just want everybody to be aware of, there's been sightings of 20-foot skeletons lurking in the neighborhood of Main and Page Street.
Stay Puft Marshmallow Man too.
Yeah, it's spooky stuff. Halloween is in the air, my favorite time of year. And I just like to encourage our residents of the village. They love to erect elaborate displays, awesome displays.
Sasquatch will be coming out.
Oh yeah, it's a great time, and the children will be out. Just take time to see these displays, or take pictures next to them, whatever you do, because the community really knows how to put on a really good display of Halloween. And that's all I got to say about that.
Okay. Russ, you still good?
Oh, no. I got a couple of things. I don't know if I want to talk about them here or not, because we always have trouble about this, and I want to talk about them a lot. But our citizens, who are pretty bright, are parking behind the theater diagonally and giving us a lot of parking places there. With no lines there, these citizens are smart enough to park far enough away from each other, just enough that we can fit a whole bunch of cars in there. And they managed to do it on both sides, even though kind of the driveway out is more to this side. As we're thinking about how we might decide if we were gonna change something and didn't get in trouble with DRI to line our blasted parking lot. And that might also be the same thing for the Hyde lot. Just saying.
So they are coming back to line next week? Yeah, this week or next week.
Just, oddly enough, the citizens know how to park there better than what we're gonna attempt to put in there.
And I will say, like, that's not our thing to put them in there, right? That's following
Well, that if we,
codes of how to put them in, and sizes of parking spots and driveways. So that's how the lines are.
there's a little leeway in some of that stuff.
Not state code. It's like anything, you upgrade, you touch it, you gotta bring it up to code.
Okay, but I'm just, I don't,
That's why the lines will go where they go.
well, the people seem to have found that there's plenty of room to get in, because when you go an angle, you don't have to have 29 million feet. Yeah, I just figured that out real good. All right. Just a thought. Yeah. What other thing, just help me real quick, if I could ask a quick question. So, because my brain was only half there. Page Street, the car's been parked there forever, they have a Jersey plate on or something, whatever. And somebody pushed it up the street away from the corner.
So the day they painted the crosswalk on,
I'm sorry, say,
the day they painted the crosswalk on?
sure.
that night they moved it up one spot. Must be, they left a note on it because it was over where the crosswalk is.
Yeah.
So that the people in the house had some people come over and they shoved it up one spot.
So we
The
think it's
boys-
abandoned, we don't know whose it is, or what doesn't matter.
I do, yeah, the lady that lives in the apartment across the road from me. But it blew up. Her kid told me it blew up and they had to push it there.
Okay.
But it'll probably be there all winter.
Either all winter. Yeah, so obviously we need to take care of that.
Right.
And the code says that it has to be 20 feet from the crosswalk.
But it is now.
So it's that far away.
They moved it up a
Yeah,
spot.
Yeah.
So that was a dangerous thing to try to get in there, and you also had to run over the stupid metal thing with it over there too.
And on that
Those
tree.
cones got ran over.
Yeah, I saw the cones are running over now.
Yeah.
Have a long-
Well, they took
Okay.
one of them the day they did the painting, but the other one got smushed.
So they are supposed to fix the metal plate thing. The state's supposed to do it, if they don't do it, Fred will do it.
Okay, I just want to make sure
It'll
about that.
just hurt the village dog traffic.
I don't, yeah.
And of course, I'm too stupid to have looked at all the plans, all these months and months that from Hunt, which we, thing, because now's a stupid time for me to say it. We got bids and everything. I assume we're gonna dig up the concrete, not put new asphalt over what was there for the basketball court. I assume they're gonna go down to base or something, not just pave over it. Don't know.
Yeah, it's got, yeah.
Yeah. They're gonna take it out.
That was all.
We're going
to take down from a good base.
This grass
Okay, yeah, and
road
if we're
is-
doing that, we should have made, yeah, nice time, Russ. We should have made that big enough for, instead of just the exact footprint that was there, we should have made it big enough for 3 pickleball courts, which maybe is 10 feet more than the stupid footprint.
Probably wouldn't cost as much to make it a little bit bigger, right?
Yeah, so, once again, we're just not paying enough attention to what Hunt's doing with us and for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
The pickleball courts was an option, and we only selected the first plan and not the additional option,
We
so
did.
I don't think
We did the pickleball.
you added it in without saying it, like as an option,
It
or
was
like?
in the resolution we did.
All we're doing is paving a surface for the pickleball, so that we can have them there. Getting some temporary nets or whatever we do is kind of like a little add-on, painting the lines, but we're just making the thing there to have the pickleball court.
Yeah, you
So
can do other-
it's just the pad, we're not getting
Yeah, you can do
nets,
other
we're not
stuff to
painting
make- right, you can play
lines,
other
it's
stuff
just
on
a
there.
pad, it's not
Correct.
pickleball courts at all.
It is. When we did the resolution to authorize the bid, we included option 1, which was $10,000 for the pickleball.
So additional stuff for some nets and
Which
this.
is the lines and the nets and whatever.
Well, and we probably weren't smart enough to make sure we had it big enough for 3 of them, but whatever, okay.
No, it's 2, it'll be 2.
Yeah, because it could have been 3, would have been another
Pretty
10-foot blacktop. Okay,
I didn't see it notated in that bid, when we voted on it, it just said the, option 1, when it was broken into 2. And like those bids came in for the main project broken into 2, not the additional.
Right, so the one had
Options.
an alternate, well, not an alternate, but an option, so. And it was in the resolution to include the options. Because that was the only optional thing, that was $10,000 or something like that.
okay. That's it.
Good?
Yep.
All right. Communication. Not much besides bonfire. And ice cream truck.
So that's what you want.
Mayor's report. So the last couple of meetings we've had, somebody here complaining about a bus stop. So I've asked trustee Dave to check into the bus stop situation, see what the deal is there. And we've had somebody bring up Jake brakes a number of times. So we have a bunch of information that it is legal for us to pass a law that limit or says you can't use a Jake brake in the village, even on state roads, because other places have done it. But Nate can tell us the ins and outs of that, and if we wanna do it, or don't. As far as, it's pretty much, we can pass a law, but it's not enforceable.
So you can't just flag down.
Yeah, I mean, there's still reasons you can use a Jake brake even if it's illegal, and how do you prove, you have to see it happen and hear it, you know what I mean?
Jake brakes are, so Jake brakes are compression brakes, and trucks can use regular brakes, or they can use these louder brakes, right? They don't always have to use these, but they can use them in an emergency. And so, we were, there's been a resident who's contacted us a couple times, and we were given some sample laws from other communities to look at. I think there was like 5 places, so I briefly looked through, where they were coming from and what years, and so I'm gonna look them over and see like what could fit here.
So we can do something like that, it's the only caution is that, we could put up signs and whatever, maybe it stops a lot of it, but it's not, it's hard to enforce.
I think signs would be a good start if we did pass a law, put some signs out. At least it's gonna make truckers in the area coming into through town aware, even if they don't follow the law, at least it's gonna be an eye opener, kind of like speed and radar enforced ahead, you kind of watch your speedometer, even if you always, it's just a reminder, for the courteous drivers out there. There's always gonna be somebody out there that's gonna break the law and not care, but I think for the most part, the truckers, if they do see a sign out there, would respect it.
I support that, because it makes us look like, we want to be a safe and quiet community, and, if we put up some signs, hopefully they would, just see them and maybe, use the quieter brakes.
Well, I mean, we can pass a law that backs up the signs, but it's hard.
Mike, were you gonna have Nate say something to us about this? I didn't remember what you just said a minute ago.
Nate, you wanna say anything about the Jake brake law? I mean, it's a legal law if you wanna pass it.
Yeah, I think, we could pass a law. I think what the mayor has outlined are the concerns that I would have, which are the enforcement of it. If you adopt a law that is hard to enforce, you're asking your police to do something they might not be capable of doing. And then you'll have residents who say, why aren't you enforcing the law that you just adopted? And you're just gonna have potentially more issues. But there's pros, there's cons. It's at the end of the day, a policy decision for the board, what you choose to do in this regard or not. Certainly it's accurate that other municipalities have adopted laws regarding this subject.
Could I also, because it's always good to get 2 opinions, could we get Henry's opinion also?
Loud and clear, you might have heard it too.
He wants ice cream.
Oh,
He
yeah.
wants ice cream.
Yeah, tell them there's ice cream down at the fire station.
Okay.
So like an officer would have to have a a decimal reader, and they'd have to witness the truck, using their brakes, and then they'd have to give them a ticket for it, right? So it would be very limited capabilities of enforcing that.
And the officer, the very first defense a truck driver would make is that it was an emergency. They needed to use the Jake brakes to slow down, because compression brakes are very effective at slowing vehicles like this of size down, but they're better than regular brakes, is my understanding. So they'd say it's an emergency, I had to use them. And the police officer would need to have witnessed exactly what the scenario was in order to then, I think, issue a ticket about it. Now, I mean, I'm telling you all the reasons why not.
Okay.
Reasons why you would want to potentially do.
So here's the simplicity of this. Obviously, we're not going to be able to enforce it. If we pass the law, that has no particular cost or anything to us. If we pass the law and then we decide to put up signs, that has a cost to us. The value of the signs is that it makes people aware, and the signs say, not just no Jake brake, but something illegal or
village law or whatever.
Potential fine, whatever it says. a trucker driving somebody's truck there and he sees those signs, he doesn't want no trouble.
Correct.
And so he's going to probably not use those, or he's a real outlaw. Oh, they're not going to tell me what to do. He doesn't want any trouble. He doesn't want, his time is his money. He doesn't want to be stopped. He doesn't want to get a ticket. He doesn't want to go to court. He doesn't want to get off the ticket because he did this. He doesn't want to do that. That will stop a bunch of people.
Right.
And our cost to it is a law and some signs.
And pass a law. Yeah. And it also tells the community that we care about
that we do care about that.
You know, their concerns. We're listening.
Nate, is that, what do you think about that? Not.
I think it's a policy decision for the board ultimately. So
Sure.
I think I hear at least three of you sounding like you're in favor of adopting something.
It passes legal muster, it's ineffective in its particular way.
It's like a jaywalking law. Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Okay.
we got a lot of laws that are.
Get a lot of laws.
Like parking signs.
Yeah.
They're just there.
I'll look over the laws that that person sent, and then I'll try to find one that closely matches ours, and then see if we can wiggle that around to something that we like. Okay?
Yeah. Work with Nate.
Okay.
Nate can help you draft something up.
I'll get to him after.
Okay.
Okay.
Move along.
That was it. That's all
Oh.
Lastly, public comment.
Okay, so I do have this. There's people that ride their bicycle and their skateboards and their scooters on the sidewalk.
Oh, yeah, that's illegal.
There's no signs.
I know.
No, but I'm just being smart. They come really close to wiping people out when they walk out of shops.
Yeah.
I mean, they're cooling.
So it's technically illegal to ride a bicycle in the downtown business district at all.
Like during business hours.
Yeah.
Yes.
Finding these kids.
But no, they're not just kids. They're not just kids. You got people
It's
that are
usually-
coming across the bridge with long hair, men with long hair, and they're old.
It counts me out.
Ancient, but
I know, right?
it's Mike.
It used to be me and Charles. We go
Yeah,
down.
we used to ride it up.
We rode it too.
But they ride their skateboards, they rollerblade, somebody has a scooter now, a gas-powered scooter,
Oh, yeah.
and they go pretty fast.
Yeah, they
So it's the same
And they
kind of
could-
issue
Yeah, they could
push away
hurt someone.
helmets.
on a scooter.
So maybe, I'm not saying put up signs, but maybe if OPD could just watch. I mean, I can honestly say OPD never walks down the street.
We can clue them in for sure.
You know, if they see somebody on one, just watch them for a few minutes and see what they're doing.
Right.
Mr.
And we
Mayor?
typically do.
Can I address?
Yeah.
I was tasked with this traffic stuff a while back, and I have researched a bunch of our rules and laws about where and when you can do bikes and skateboards and which things weren't included when we passed these things
Well,
back.
right,
And I've written down a
skateboard
bunch of
issue.
this. What?
We had a skateboard issue at one point.
Yeah, I've written down a bunch of this stuff and have some potentials. We just, once again, one of those things that falls through the cracks of tightening up the rules. That doesn't necessarily tighten up the enforcement, but tightening up the rules of it. So I say it's odd. Some things you can do downtown in the business district in the street, some things you can do on the sidewalk, some things, yes, we'll look at tightening that up. But the enforcement is difficult.
I don't have an issue with a little kid.
No,
with their
that's not what
parents,
we're talking
Because
about.
they're going like 0 miles an hour.
That's not
But
what
when
we're
you
talking
have an adult,
The skateboarders go winging down the street on the sidewalk, and sooner or later, somebody's gonna walk out of the door and get whacked for that, and so that's a.
and the other thing that bothers me is dogs that pee on the buildings. It's just disrespectful. Look at the corner of M&T, M&T Bank. It's green where dogs pee on that bank. If it was my bank, I mean, I bank there, but if it was my bank, the dog wouldn't be able to pee. I like dogs, but I don't let them pee on people's buildings.
You're not gonna be happy, but you know that the answer to all this stuff is that we don't have the officers or the funding to enforce quality of life issues like that. It doesn't mean that we wouldn't at all, but it just simply,
They never see it.
I'm sorry?
I'm not saying go look for it, but they don't see this stuff.
I'm just telling you how it works.
For instance, I have this
It's awful.
speed controls on now in front of my bedroom window.
Oh, yes, you do.
It's my new nightlight. But anyway, vehicles will be down in front of the American Legion and they'll see that sign. And they'll see if they can be going 60 by the time they get to that sign.
See how being a wisecrack.
No, I'm serious.
No, but I'm saying so somebody's doing it to be a,
And a lot of times OPD sits in the St. Pat's parking lot between my house and the church. And I'm surprised, maybe they've gotten some people, but yeah, you can hear them accelerate. And once they get by the sign, they slow down.
Yeah, once you get by that Barleycorn, it can detect you doing,
Yeah, it picks
I've
up.
tested it. Cause I've been like the only car.
His Charles out there speeding.
He drives a white truck with
No.
how's 80 working?
He's got a charger.
But no, I mean, so you can put up all the signs and stuff you want, but people aren't gonna obey them. They don't obey the parking signs. They don't obey one-way road signs.
Yeah, how many people go down Page Street the wrong way, right?
On my end of the street all the time. During the Porch Fest, I bet there was 5 cars. And I left at 11:30 to go to a football game.
You know, I've said it before, we can't make people be good people,
Well,
not let
you
the
gotta pay
dogs pee on the
attention.
building.
And then they run for office.
Right.
The owner's not the dog.
Right. Alex?
Am I allowed to speak again?
Sure.
Darn.
I just want to go back to what you were saying about Hyde Park lot, because I remember, a long time ago, we wanted more like public-private type participation. For example, we own a building, 6264. We have a couple of spaces there, and so does our neighbors, and so does John's Food Store. And I was kind of promoting the idea of a comprehensive plan that could take care of the whole parking lot, which would make it a lot more efficient. And, I think Hunt did the design for it, which I kind of commented a while ago that I thought was very inefficient. Because like you were saying, the parking standards and the spaces they're using are from the days when people were driving Cadillacs. And if you look at some of the other municipalities, now they're incorporating, smaller vehicles, and you have small vehicle and EV cars, which require a lot less footprint. And I don't think that was considered. Obviously, you've got to consider, ADA parking and, ins and outs, and and it is more efficient if you do have diagonal parking because the width, the aisle widths are narrower, and also it's one way, which makes it more efficient too. So I think, did you say it was about to be striped soon?
Yeah. And the Hyde lot is gonna be done.
Because we were never given, we were asked if we wanted to participate and contribute to pave our lots, and we said yes. But then the next thing we heard and knew, it was like paved without us even,
Yeah, so that was very quick, and if you did say yes, you were maybe the only ones.
No, I think, I checked I believe, definitely, both our two neighbors said yes. Because they approached me and said, did you hear what was going on? I said, yes,
And they were gonna not do that until next spring anyway.
Right, so all of a sudden it happened, and now it's about to be paved, or not paved, it's about to be, marked. And we're gonna end up, with, I'll bet, less cars now than,
The Hyde lot's
or at least the same.
close to the same. The Hyde lot's the same or more.
I don't think it's gonna be more for my camp. We'll see. And the other thing is, we're looking towards the future, we're looking at, opening up restaurants or other facilities, for retail, and we're depending on, public being able to park there for, an hour or two whilst they eat. But if, by code, you're supposed to have so many cars per square foot of retail, it's not gonna,
Yeah, I know the paving was kind of,
And we didn't get any, landscaping, trees,
yeah, all that,
drainage,
all that was
Lighting.
6 years ago, when playing the DRI.
and again, if you look at the existing conditions, you've got poles which could easily have been replaced by NICEAG to get more.
We tried to do a lot of that, but it didn't happen, just whatever.
Is there ways we can improve on that in the future, or?
I don't imagine we're gonna get a DRI again. I mean, those were projects that we never would have even been able to touch had we not had the DRI. Last time the Hyde lot was repaved, like, to that level was probably when it was built. You know what I mean?
The roads are really nice though.
So, and the paving was, I don't wanna say a mess, cause they did an okay job, but I mean, you gotta realize we were locked into a contractor that was the lowest bidder on a state job, paying prevailing wages, and they kind of followed exactly the plan.
You're talking about the ones that just did,
Yeah.
that just are, no comment.
So they weren't like, I mean, they were fine contractors, but they weren't easy to work with. And as far as paving your spot, we can probably give you names of some other people that'll do it for half that price.
Sorry, what's that?
Yeah, so we can probably give you names of local contractors that'll pave your spots for half the price that they
Oh,
want.
obviously we're gonna end up having to do that, but if you would have incorporated that into the parking area, you would have gotten more efficient parking.
Well, yeah, and we couldn't do that because it's all private property. I mean, we could have with easements, and it would take us 6 years to get everybody. We ran into that with the sewer line that we replaced on Lake Street. We had to get easements, and me and Nate had to go bang on their doors and track them down.
It's not easy.
I mean, when you're talking 20 property owners to sign an easement just to do something, not everybody is that willing. It'd take us years in legal fees to.
They all want some money.
Yeah. And then state money, we could only use it on property we owned. It's got to be a mess.
You good? Of course, what none of us are good, but you.
All right.
Move to
Anybody else have
adjourn.
anything else? We're good?
I have one more question.
Sure.
The lady that you want to hire to do your grant stuff, is that just grants coming to the village, or is that grants going to other people
No,
in the village?
she would just work on our grants.
Village, owned by the village.
But grants is a small piece of that, the Julie that we're talking about potentially, if that grants is just a little piece of the things that she's gonna be doing there. She's gonna be doing a whole bunch of other works with flood, hazard, this, that, so but grants is a piece of it.
No, I was just curious that it wasn't privately owned properties.
No.
It's a code department and DPW.
Now, somebody's consulting firm might certainly be willing to do something for private people, but that would not be this.
Well, I'm not asking for myself, I just
Yeah,
want to make
just a
sure my
general-
tax dollars aren't going to fund
No.
somebody else's projects.
No, they would
Sorry.
the grants of the village gets mostly related to flooding and stuff. And a lot of her, I don't want to say duties, but duties would be to get us into the CRS system, potentially get you percentage off on flood insurance.
I don't have flood insurance.
I don't either. So. We'll be paying for it. We don't get any money off.
That's the major thrust of
Along with
that's
all
the
of
major thrust of all this. If that didn't exist, we wouldn't be, even though these things are valuable, we wouldn't be doing this.
Anybody who wants to buy a house in town though, and has a mortgage on their house has to have flood insurance,
Yeah, we
So,
have to have flood.
just for the future of
kind
the
of.
village.
There are places in the village, right? Now, this is the devil's advocate. I'm not saying this is my
Yeah.
opinion, but there are places in the village that are not in the floodplain, like the block I live in, and the entire south side of the river, where people will pay our taxes, increase taxes, for other people to get additional.
Yeah, it puts a
More
big
of the complications
strain
of the money.
All state people.
on the future of people, if, normal homeowners aren't able to buy houses, and only a limited amount of very rich people might be able to afford houses in our village, that's not a nice prospect for our future, So having flood insurance be affordable for people, and the flood insurance is gonna go up, we're on this government glide. People who have insurance, it's going up 18% per year, right, until we get to our actuary rates, right? So it's big time. We might only save a few hundred the first year, but it grows big time every year. 18% is a lot, right?
Well,
I'm paying like a
flood insurance is a
15 or 1700 on my house, and I don't have a big house. And
flood insurance is a racket anyway, because it's driven a lot by not Owego, right? Flood insurance is driven by places like Florida that get hurricanes and get wiped out every year. And we're paying for that.
right, but right now, our village is in compliance with the National Floodplain Insurance Program, because we have the one outstanding violation with Weitzman. And he needs to get that fixed soon, because the whole village might not be able to have flood insurance if he doesn't fix his problem. So if he fixes his problem, everybody else benefits, because we can potentially work to get, these reduction rates, but we have a lot of work to do just to clear that up, and
Well, that's in code right now, so.
but we got a letter, we got an email from FEMA asking about, our work on clearing it up, and saying that we need to get on it before they
So we are taking
enforce it
steps.
with like a time limit, and we need more time to just sort of wiggle around and get it fixed than this elevated time limit that they would give us, because we don't, Weitzman could pay to fix his own, just these flood vents, and to move up his utilities on his building, and then everybody else is gonna get to potentially save. And like the village at large, big projects, everybody counts on, the government money and needing to have the flood insurance coverage on their, and all the different things that you have to have for the projects. And, we,
Laura,
yeah.
Cindy's question was whether our grant writer was going to work for the private.
So no, she worked for the village.
I meant write grants for the private.
Right.
I'm just saying, yeah.
All right, anything else from anybody? Okay. Motion to adjourn?
I did.
Sure, perfect. See everybody next time.
You said that time to get ice cream.
Yeah, 20 minutes.